Enzorecto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Let's tackle some of the biggest ones to this day. The first is, of course, former President Duterte is still at The Hague, detained, but we're getting reports that his team is going to be applying for interim release based on 4 grounds. Number 1 is he's not a flight risk. Number 2 is he's not going to commit any more. He's not going to tamper with the evidence, or he's not going to endanger the evidence or witnesses.
Or endanger,
Number 3 is he is not going to commit any more crimes, which you know the wording in itself is a bit controversial.
So is that an admission?
And number 4 is humanitarian grounds. Of course, he is 8 years old. I guess you're finding all of this disturbing.
Oh, yes. I don't think those 4 grounds are valid enough, just enough, that legitimate enough to really grant their application. Flight risk, how can they say that he's not a flight risk? When, you know, he has been really, combative, and he's been hostile, and he's been critical about the ICC. He even withdrew the country from membership of ICC. And then he would not be threatening, or he would not be posing a danger to the witnesses and also on the evidence. Naku! Precisely, you know, he has the capacity and the proclivity to really threaten people and in fact kill people. And then it's not going to commit further crimes. So I don't know if it was just an oversight or just a mistake, a subconscious mistake on the part of the one who drafted the application for interim release. So parang there's an admission there. He has been committing crimes. So this time, he won't be committing crimes. So medyo nakakaduda yun, nakakatawa pa. And then humanitarian considerations. But wasn't he strong enough, healthy enough to even go to Hong Kong then, before he was arrested when he came back here? Diba? And then meron namang maayos na medical service within the ICC detention facility, because they are very conscious about these things. They would take care of them. In fact, yung kanyang detention area is really nice. You know, walang sinabi yung mga detention facility natin dito, kasama na yung naging detention facility ko.
I was gonna say, you're very familiar with that. You're intimately familiar with that.
And then they provide regular medical service. And there has been any announcement from the ICC, from those taking care of him there, as to his that he has a failing health? I doubt it. So none of the grounds, I would say, are justifiable or are enough grounds to grant the application for interim release, and especially so that these are very serious crimes, crimes against humanity. Hindi ito simpleng ilang libo ba yung pinapatay nila. So I doubt also that ICC, of course I may be wrong, but I doubt that ICC would favorably act on that application, even if yung prosecution is reportedly
not
going to oppose it. Maybe they're just being reasonable in the sense that they would want first to really know the exact conditions, the exact parameters of the interim release, if so granted. And then syempre dapat alamin din ano bang bansa yun sinasabing,
the third party country that's willing to host him now.
The one that is supposedly willing to host him. So we are also very curious about it. What country is this? It's supposed to be a member state, because you cannot offer to host if you're not a member state. So kaya ang Pilipinas hindi pwede. Kasi
and they're not going to bring him back here.
Yes, hindi na tayo member state, at kasalanan din yan ni former President Duterte, kasi siya yung nag-withdraw sa atin from ICC.
When you say that you don't believe his interim release, if it gets granted, will endanger the witnesses and the evidence, but I have to point out he's no longer in power. I mean, he's no longer a president.
But look at him. He still has influence. He's still very popular. He still has minions, actually, especially in the security forces, the security sector. We can assume na meron pa siyang mga tao dyan, yung mga loyalist sa kanya. He has that capability. He still has that capacity to create trouble, including yung pananakot sa mga witnesses or mga potential witnesses. Let's not underestimate the man.
Were you ever contacted by the ICC when they were building up the case to provide evidence, to give a testimony
I can
against
neither
Duterte?
confirm nor deny that.
Oh, it's not on the record, so I wanted to find out directly from you whether you were contacted in prison
I
at
cannot say
that.
so. I cannot say so.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. But sure, I mean, suffice to say, you don't believe he deserves interim release.
Oh, definitely.
I
I
mean,
don't believe.
hindi pa po umuusad ang kaso. The case hasn't moved forward. We haven't even gotten to the confirmation of charges hearing yet.
sa
Pero you
September
don't
pa lang.
believe that
No.
he deserves interim release?
No, I don't believe at all. And I hope the ICC, well, I think they know that. They will have to really assess the situation. They would be careful. We can trust them, the ICC, the pre-trial chamber, to be careful about making such a decision.
Yep.
Yes.
It's quite meaningful that I'm sitting across from you today talking about Duterte, you know, when there was a point in time when we didn't even think that we could ever see you again in person, right? We could only talk to you by phone. Tapos siya naman yung nasa
Kaya nga
sa
The tables
preso.
have turned.
Tables have completely turned.
Yes.
And now you're also in a position to, I guess, determine the fate of his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, because you've been invited to be part of the House prosecution panel for her impeachment. How are you approaching this? And the secondary to that, can you even still be impartial at all, given your history with the Dutertes?
Okay. I was invited to be part of the prosecution panel, and just like Representative-elect Chel Jokno, I said yes, although we are not yet officially members of the prosecution panel, for the simple reason that we are not officially assumed our post as representatives in the 20th Congress. Now, I said yes because I feel that I can help in the prosecution, in the successful prosecution. And I feel and I think that I don't think the House leadership would have invited me, would have invited Representative-elect Chel Jokno if they do not think that we can be of help. So whatever role that we have to do there, whatever task we will be given in terms of helping build the case and successfully prosecute the respondent, the impeached official, why not?
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw. Bunyog,